What's up everybody, I hope you're all doing great, and today I have a bit of a different video for you all, and it's 10 facts about Fractured Butthole. Now some of these will be more well known, but others will not, so stay tuned and see which ones you knew and which ones you didn't know. So let's get into it, starting with number 10. Okay, so to start the 10 facts, I'm going to be talking about Punch and Fart. Now, you use these powers all the way at the start of the game to battle the Moorish, but after you select your superhero class, you never see these powers again, and it's fair to assume that they just get replaced by your superhero powers. But what if I told you that's actually not true at all? You actually keep these powers for the entire game. These powers have their own slots and are always equipped to the new kit. And the same thing applies to other powers like the Pimp Slap and the Ultimate Netherborn powers. Your powers actually never get replaced completely, they just have their own slot, and the game just makes it look like they get replaced. So let's move on to number 9. Okay, so the next fact about Fractured Butthole will be about the new kit, specifically his hairstyle. You might not know this, but the new kit actually has an official hairstyle, and you can see this hairstyle in videos on the Ubisoft YouTube channel, and also you can see it in-game in the Danger Deck Challenge Heavy Hitters. The title card for the challenge shows new kit in his official hair. But the weird thing about this hair is that it's not available in the game, and also it doesn't seem to be unused leftover in the game. So it's unobtainable, which is a bit weird, but what can you do? So moving on to number 8. Alright, so for number 8 we're going to be talking about the new kit's classes. Now most of you are familiar with the original Netherborn and also the Mystic, the two removed classes that were still left over in the game. But I think most of you may not know about the Commander class. This class can be seen in early footage, but not much is known about it. But actually, what if I told you that Commander is still in the game? It was actually overhauled into the Plantmancer class. And that's basically what Plantmancer is. If in the game the Plantmancer is still mostly called Commander, all of its powers are called Commander. The class was just visually overhauled to be a plant themed class, and functionality wise Commander would have worked the exact same way that Plantmancer does. Okay, so for number 7 we're going to be talking about hero ranks. Now you increase your hero rank throughout the game, and with it you unlock new artifact slots, which make you more powerful and give you better stats and bonuses. But outside of that, the game doesn't say that hero rank does anything else, even though you can increase it up to 15 without getting any new slots. So what does increasing your hero rank actually do? Well, most people assume it just doesn't do anything, but it's just a title. But this is actually not true. Increasing your hero rank has multiple benefits. First, it increases your knockback and status effect damage. This increases for both you and the enemy. It's a universal boost. Second is that it increases the health of Professor Chaos's summoned minion, but the damage of that character is still tied to your stats. Third is that it increases the damage done by summons, and at max hero rank they do double their base amount. And that's mostly it, but these are powerful benefits that you definitely want to make use of. So let's move on to number 6. Alright, so for number 6 we're going to be talking about Santa. Now most of you know that during the woodland critters fight you get Santa to help you defeat them, but actually Santa was originally going to be the boss himself and you would have to fight him, but this was replaced with the woodland critters. Now I managed to get in contact with the developer of the game and asked them why Santa boss was removed, and he said that it was changed to be the woodland critters because they thought it was funnier, and that's really all there is to it. So let's move on to number 5. Okay, so for number 5 I'm going to be talking about a removed character, Wesley. Now you can see this character in some cutscenes in the game, but he doesn't actually appear as an NPC in the game that you can fight or talk to, but he was supposed to be. Now like with the previous Santa effect, I did get in contact with the developer and asked him why Wesley was removed, and he had this to say. Wesley was Mitch Connor's right-hand man, a parody of Daredevil Season 1's James Wesley, who worked for Kingpin. Daredevil had just come out and the Wesley in the game parodied it, but as development went on it became a bit of a stale reference since we released something like 2 years later and it wasn't as funny anymore. So there you have it, basically Wesley was going to be Mitch Connor's right-hand man, and he was removed because the joke just was not going to be funny when the game came out. So let's move on to number 4. Okay, so the next fact will be about young Morgan Freeman. Now most of you are familiar with the Morgan Freeman fight, and you know that in the second phase he summons his younger self to help him defeat you. But this character actually has his own unique powers and his own unique outfit and appearance. Now his powers, they look the same as the new kid's BUTTHOLE'S powers, but they are a little bit different. First of all, they use the original names, so instead of Brutal Bash and Gastro Smash, they are called Brick Bash and Controlled Demolition. These are the original names for the BUTTHOLE'S powers, and it's kinda cool that they brought them back and put them on this character. And second is his outfit. He actually has his own unique outfit that is an actual item in the game, as well as his hair and facial makeup. These are all actual items, but you can't obtain them yourself. They are equipped to him during the fight, and if you actually try to place this character outside of his fight, he just appears as a generic white kid. So let's move on to number 3. Okay, so for number 3, it's another removed character from the game. This one is related to the new kid, however. This character is called BUTTHOLE'S dog, and they were replaced by the baby, so they were going to be in the backstory originally. There isn't much left of this character. The actual character itself is not in the game anymore, but what is left of them is their name and their power. So their name, like I said, it's just BUTTHOLE'S dog, and this is still left over in the text of the game and can be found. The second is his power. It's still left over and it's called Heroic Bite. Trying to use it, it doesn't do anything special, but it does have the same damage area as Pyroclasm and Fart Sensei. So let's move on to number 2. Okay, so for number 2, I'm going to be talking about the Ghost Biker. Now this is a character that would have appeared in Bring the Crunch, and they were replaced by Spontaneous Butte. Now this character is actually still left over in the game, but their visual was never finished, so trying to show them in game, it's nothing special, it just shows a Chaos Kid. Now their functionality would have been the same as Spontaneous Butte, so it makes sense that he was replaced by her. Now one cool thing about this character is that his powers are also left in, and his power icon is still left in, and it is fully complete and looks pretty cool. and maybe it can be repurposed for something else. But that's all there is to say really about the Ghost Biker. He does also appear in some early videos that are in the game, but unfortunately he was replaced. So let's move on to number 1. Okay, so for the very last fact about Fractured Butthole, it's one that I think some of you are familiar with if you have been watching my channel for a while, but it's New Kid's default powers. Now, like I said before at the start of the video, Punch and Fart are in their own separate slot, so then you might be wondering, well, what powers does the New Kid have at the start of the game before you choose a class? Is it Speedster, Blaster, Brutalist? Well, it's none of them, it's King powers. These are basically powers that you were supposed to use in the intro, but they were replaced by Punch and Fart. Now, I don't know the exact reason why they were replaced, but it can be safe to assume that it was just to simplify the tutorial and make it less confusing for new players. Now, these powers are equipped to you at the start before you choose a class, so you do technically have them for a bit. Now, the hammer, you do get to use the hammer to finish off the dragon, and it's the same hammer that you have, that the hidden one and the one for the dragon are the same, it's not separate ones. As well as that, the one that Almighty King Douchebag uses is also the same as the New Kids. Now, the third power is called Cannonball, and it has the same animation as Royal Fisting, but the functionality of it is very different. It works more like the Sand Trap power, but Royal Fisting works more like Root Burst. There isn't a whole lot to say about this. The New Kid doesn't have a default power 4, it's just empty slot. But that's really all there is to it. You can play with these powers using Cheat Engine, which is on Nexus mods. So let's finish up and do the outro. So thank you all for watching the video. I hope you learned something new, and you can also let me know which things you knew and which things you didn't know. And also lastly, I do want to give a special thank you to Angel Stickmin, who made this fan art. It will be linked down below in the description if you want to check it out. Thank you very much for making it, and thank you everyone for watching, and peace.